Yeah, apparently Capsule Corp Goku is fucking ridiculous. I haven't watched any of Dragon Ball Heroes. I really want to, just because there's a lot of characters in it that I like the looks of, and, like, they brought back. Whichever Gokus in Xenoverse should be the strongest. I don't know, some of those Gokus are fucking broken as shit in Dragon Ball Heroes. But Xenoverse Goku is pretty fucked up. You think that is Capsule Corp Goku? Oh, okay. That would make sense. I'd love to see them reintroduce Super Saiyan 4, though, because they've reintroduced a lot of stuff in Super. Like, they brought back Android 17, like they did in GT. Like, there's a lot of stuff Super has taken from GT. Like, you have to admit that. But, like, I'd love to see them bring back Super... I'd love to see them reintroduce Super Saiyan 4, although I don't know how they would do it. Huh. Oh, I hate my nose. Just give me a second there. Yeah, you think they'll do Super Saiyan 4 with Brawly? Oh my god, that might be a little too much. But I feel like he would be the most qualified person for it. Because, like, he makes the most sense, right? Because he's going, like, the way of the Berserker, basically. Over here watching Magic Knight Rayearth. Oh, Magic Knight Rayearth. Sweet. You think that's going back a little bit thrill? I'm actually rewatching. I'm watching. Like, obviously not right now, but I'm watching Yu Yu Hakusho, and I'm also rewatching all of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Yeah, with the Ozaru being the source of the power. Yeah, why not give him Super Saiyan 4? Because it makes fucking sense, right? Because, his father said, he's like, it looks like he's tapping into the power of the Ozaru without transforming. It'd be interesting to see them bring Tarble into it, too. Like, since, you know, they've mentioned Vegeta's brother, like, 2 or 3 times now. But, like, at this, like, especially where, like, obviously, World Breaker Brawly. But, like, where they've got everybody going their own transformation routes now. And that's one thing I am really liking about Super. Like, obviously I'm not caught up in the manga, but everybody knows about, like, fucking Ultra Ego and everything like that. A remake soon. More mature style? Okay. Oh, yeah, Turble is the only one with a tail right now. But, like, where everybody's going with their own transformation, where, like, Goku's got MUI, Vegeta's got Ultra Ego, Gohan's got Beast, his Beast form, like, give Brawly SS4, or, like, Turble SS4, where Brawly's got, like, give him, like, a more, like, peak version of Legendary, like, do something with the Legendary Super Saiyan part of it, like, make it a little bit different, because obviously we see him with the green hair, but, like, when we go to the, what is it? When we go to, what version was it? Oh, I'm trying to remember now. I'm fucking blanking on this. I think it was the superhero movie with Gohan. I think they showed him using, like, regular Super Saiyan, like, with the yellow hair. So, like, you know, bring him back to the fucking, the green hair, but, like, tweak it a little bit. So that way, like, give them all, like, give everybody their own unique transformation. That way, when something happens, it's not just a mishmash of the same thing over and over again. I'd also love to see them do something to reintroduce Super 17, because Super 17 was one of my favorite characters from Dragon Ball GT, although he didn't have a lot of fucking screen time. But, like, I thought he was so cool. But, like, legit, just sit there and bring it, like... even if you did it just to bring, like, another villain in, like, make it so that Android 17 gets, like, force fused with, like, another 17. And then it takes over, makes him a bad guy, and they gotta, like, beat him up and figure out a way to fucking bring him back. I think that would be pretty fucking neat. There's so many... I find there's so many villains that they have, like, in reserve, either from movies or, like, you know, GT or something like that, they could easily use to bring, like, more depth to things, and, like, that would also make fans be like, oh my god, what in the fuck? Like, you know, like, especially where it almost looks like, but they're probably not going to do anything, and I don't know if they did because I'm not up to date on the Super manga, but, like, where they tried to make Piccolo a little bit more relevant, that's another character that they did really fucking dirty, is fucking Piccolo. Piccolo does not stop training, so I don't know why Piccolo is so fucking weak in comparison to everything else. Like, friggin' they gave... Oh, I hate this post-nasal drip. But, like, they gave Piccolo this brand new fucking transformation, and then he gets fucking stomped all over. And, like, don't get me wrong, it was so they could make Gohan, like, fucking way up there. But, like, the fact that they went out and made a brand new form for Piccolo... The Piccolo Zalma theories I have, which I think would be really cool. So, post-nasal drip, basically, like, if you've ever had, like, a runny nose where it comes out the front, I have a thing where, like, sometimes that will still happen, like, if I get a stuffed nose, but it drips down the back of my throat. So that it makes it really easy for my throat to dry out, especially when I'm talking. So when I do this, that's one of the reasons I cough a lot. So, like, it'll drip down the back of my throat and it coats my throat. It really, really fucking sucks. Snorting perks. No. I am very fortunately 100% drug-free. I don't do the drugs. I think it's a really cool theory, too. But, like, they'd have to put some work into Piccolo for it. I have no problems with the healthcare up here. That's good, Governor. How did you know I was in the chat? It's because I pay attention. I always pay attention, man. Or are you talking to somebody else, Thrill? But yeah, like, I've never had a problem with the healthcare up here. Like, I don't use it a lot just because, like, I tend to be fairly healthy. Like, I'm fairly active. Like, I go to the gym 5 to 7 days a week, depending. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I try to eat fairly healthy. Although I'm a pig, I eat a lot. I love to snack, which I'm trying to cut down on sugar right now. Like, anytime I've ever had to go for anything, like, emergency related, it's usually fairly quick. But, like, going to the emergency room can be, like, a bit of a wait. Like, if you're sitting there and, like, you know, you think you're really sick, or, like, you've got, like, you think you broke your hand or something like that. Depending on who's in the waiting room, you might be waiting a while. Hoping to get something like that down here. Like, if I sit there and I go to the emergency room and, like, I think my hand is broken or I'm not feeling good, you could be, depending on the time of day, you could be anywhere from 30 minutes to, like, fucking 12 hours. But, like, if it's anything, like, immediate, like, if you're fucking bleeding out in the waiting room, they're not really gonna make you fucking wait for it. Try these frozen fruit candies like Fruit Riot. Oh, okay. Like, I'm a big snacker. Like, I snack on stuff all day long. These people are unconscious. That's unfortunate. $53 for glasses. These glasses here, I think I paid less than $100 for two pairs of glasses.
We can't just leave them like this.
Don't touch anything.
And I don't have eye coverage.
You forget about sympathy.
Like, I think I went and I got an eye appointment like a couple years ago because I hadn't changed my prescription since I was in high school. I think it was like $100. I think I paid more for my eye appointment than I did for these glasses because I forget what website my wife used.
Focus on your
But
shut out everything else.
but she found a site and we just sent in my glasses information and they mailed me the 2 sets of glasses and I think it was like under $100 or around $100 for both pairs. The last set of glasses I had before I have the 2 sets I have now was $800.
Strategy. Good.
Because they were a special kind where they didn't have frames, so they had to drill into the sides of the glasses. So, like, the glass they used was a little bit reinforced. Plus, the handles on them could bend up, down, and, like, both sides. So it was, like, they were very bendy. Like, and even the nose part, like, I could have taken my glasses and went like this, and they wouldn't break. I can understand why, like, they were a specialty type of glasses. Like, the frame was almost like rubber, almost.
I know that.
Like, it was a weird type of, like, almost like, spring steel.
But sorry won't cut it.
Snow didn't kill your mother.
But, like, that's why they were so much. They were, and they also had, like, the photo gray lenses. So when I was out in the summertime, they also automatically turned into sunglasses for me. So there was, like, a lot of additions onto them. So that's why they were really expensive.
Fine. I'll fight the Sanctum with you. I'll learn to survive.
How can you
Like, I can't afford health insurance up here for, like, the other things. So, like, anytime there's any kind of, like, what the fuck is that? Dental coverage or, like, coverage for, like, eyeglasses or, like, if there's, like, any prescriptions that I have to pay out of pocket, that's when I get really, really hit with some stuff. But most times, like I said, like, I'm fairly healthy. My immune system's pretty good.
Nothing I can't handle.
I don't get sick very often. Although when I do, it sucks. I'm like pretty much laid up, can't do it. Like, when I get sick, it's sick to the point where, like, normally, like, you know, somebody's sick, they'll be at home and they'll still play video games. Like, I can't move. Like, my body is a fucking wreck. Like I said, fucking coughing way too much. And I hate it because, like, I hate that you guys are getting the coughing and stuff over the microphone. Like, even when I just try to clear my throat. I've never actually had pneumonia that I know of anyways. I I've had COVID twice, though, which is another reason why I cough a lot, because it really fucked up my lungs. My lungs and my throat. But the post-nasal drip just makes it 10 times fucking worse. Oh, always been really prone to it? Oh, okay. But, like, I can see the pros and cons to, like, each kind of healthcare, like, but, like, I see a lot of people where it's like, oh, yeah, but, like, I can just pay and go and get, like, a procedure I need, but then I hear other people saying it's like, even if I pay, I still have to wait a while. Like, a lot of the times up here, like, I find when you're waiting for, like, a specialist or something like that, it can take a little, like, it can take months to years, depending on, like, what it is. Which really fucking sucks, and luckily I haven't had to deal with anything like that myself. But, like, our healthcare system up here is also very, very short-staffed. Which is why a lot of the wait times can kind of creep up on you for some things if they're not, like, absolutely, like, emergency. Like, especially for, like, specialists. But, like, at the same time, like, you sit there and it's like, well, at least if I'm going to the doctor, like, for, like, a checkup or say I get into an accident and, like, I gotta spend a couple days in the hospital, like, I'm not going fucking bankrupt. Thank you for the subscription again, Cam. Wakanda forever, of course. Cam subscribed for fucking 26 months in total there over on fucking Twitch. Because he's a fucking beast. Yeah, at least as the staffing concerns. The Black Beast, baby.
Just hang on.
Well, better fucking heal myself. I wasn't paying attention because fucking Cam's over there subscribing to my channel. Being a G. Yeah, no, like, the staffing shortage up here, especially for, like, anything healthcare related, is fucking... It's really bad. Like, it's definitely something that really, really needs to be worked on.
Be ready for the next fight.
But, like, at the same time, like, in some places, they're... Like, I realize doctors and stuff like that get paid, like, a fairly decent amount, but at the same time, I don't feel like they're paying them a proper amount in some places either. Yeah, like my buddy Cam over there that just subscribed over on Twitch, like, he's in healthcare. And, like, the reason, like, a lot of places, especially, like, some smaller places in Canada, like, it's, like, where we're from anyways, like, down in the Maritimes, is because in the bigger cities, like, they're paying the doctors more and the nurses and stuff more. So, like, obviously, if you were to get, like, something, like, your degree and stuff in healthcare around here, it's like, why would you stay if you can just as easily get a job somewhere else that's short-staffed that's going to pay you a fuck ton more, right? So it's one of those things where it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But it's the same with teaching jobs too. Like, you sit there and, like, teachers are shit on all the time for certain things. Magical moments, what is this? Oh, that thing. Okay. Well, like, you sit there and, like, teachers are shit on for everything. Like, and not just up here either. I know teachers are shit on fucking down in the States too. And it's like, you wonder why people don't want to become teachers, or, like, you know, some people are just there just for a fucking paycheck. It's like, well, if you weren't shitting on your teachers all day long, like, like, you sit there and, like, your kids are doing bad in school, and it's like, you know, and, like, don't get me wrong, part of it's on the teachers, like, 100%, like, you gotta, you gotta make sure you're, like, the teachers are, like, actually teaching the kids in, like, the stuff that they're doing. The person that scored the lowest in the medical... No, I do not know what they call them. Tell me, Thrill, tell us. But, like, at the same time, you gotta keep your... Like, you gotta make sure you're holding your kids accountable, too, because, like, I find there's some parents that think their kids can do no wrong, like their kids are smart as a whip, and sometimes that's true to the fact, because I remember when I was in school, like, I took a big giant dip off and just didn't give a shit, because, like, in through elementary and the first part of junior high school, my teachers always used to go to my parents and say, like, I was a genius, your kid is, like, super smart and stuff, and I looked at it as, well, if I'm super smart, why is nobody... They're still called a doctor? You're correct. But, like, they used to, like, say I was super smart and super gifted and, you know, the whole teenage angst thing clued in, and I was like, well, if I'm so smart, why are the teachers not doing anything? Why are they not giving me any tests or fucking doing anything to, like, push me ahead? So my teenage angst kicked in and I just kind of gave up on it. So that's where my marks took a drop, and that was on me.
Operation Nora.
As I die. My marks took a drop because I just stopped giving a shit. But at the same time, it took a drop because administration just kind of also stopped giving it, well, in my opinion, stopped giving a shit because they weren't doing anything to help me. Oh, 100% there, Bows. Like, we have kind of this same thing, too. Where, like, if you're not in the right area, like, your schools and your fucking hospitals just take, like, a giant drop in quality. So it's, like, it's, like, impossible to catch up. Like, you're sitting there and it's like, okay, like, you know, if you want good care or good, like, educational issues, you gotta go, like, somewhere else, or you gotta pay for, like, a private institution. Like, especially for fucking, for, like, education and stuff like that, which I think is fucking ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, I understand why private institutes will have better schooling, because a lot of the times it's the friggin' the families that provide the funding. So, like, they're getting extra funding from rich people, so they have they have the extra money to just throw at the problems that they have with the education that they're trying to put out. Like, they can sit there and be like, well, like, if we need to upgrade this or we need to upgrade that, then we can, as opposed to, like, the public healthcare system where they don't have that perk. They can't just sit there and throw the money at it. But oh, no, I think I'm really hurting, yep. But it's the same thing with, like, mainly on personal property taxes. And yeah, exactly. The poor areas in your jurisdiction or wherever you're at don't get the funding that they need, and which sucks, because then the people in those communities are getting the shit end of the stick. Because, like, some of the people in those communities are ridiculously smart and could easily fucking be one of those people, like, that could, you know, solve cancer or solve this or solve that, but now they're not getting, like, the learning that they need to be able to do that. So, you know, they're stuck on the wayside of things. They can't get a proper education, so they can't get a proper job, and it's like the systemic thing where it puts these fucking marginalized places and, like, places with, like, the property taxes and stuff, it puts them in like, dire situations. mildly funded. Yeah, like, and that's what sucks. I think I lost a couple viewers because we're talking politics. Health and education. But, like, it's one of those things that it's gonna... Oh, fuck you, Lightning.
And so it ends.
Why does it end? He's still alive. But, like, it's one of those things that... It sucks. Like, you can't get away from it. And it affects, like, so many people. Like, there's just nothing that can fix it. Let's make some of these. So we got medic and medic. Then we got commando and medic. Yeah, like it's one of those things that it's very hard to get around, but like it's something that needs to be addressed. Like if you can't get around it, like how are things supposed to? Oh, bows! Like I'm never gonna like it's things that have to be talked about. Like I was just looking at stuff and I looked and things kind of dipped a little bit, but like they might be scrolling through and they might come back. Don't worry about that at all, bows. Like these are things that need to be talked about. Like I realize like it comes with interacting with people, right? Like there's things that are going to be said that other people aren't going to like and it's going to drive them away, and just because it's talked about, if it's something that like somebody can't handle or they don't want to hear, it's one of those things where like that's the easiest thing to do is just fucking scroll on. Like I'm not gonna beg somebody to stay just because they don't like something that's being said. I can understand 100% if it's something that's completely rude and like off the ball, then fucking yeah, 100% like get out of there. Like leave 100%. Like I don't expect somebody to stay anywhere that's fucking crazy. But like if it's something that's like that they're just getting hurt over, but it's like a very big topic that that needs to be talked about, and that it's something that is very important just towards the world in general, like it's got to be talked about regardless. There's no running from it, right? Like I'll always be there to fight for like the people that are oppressed, like the people that are getting the fucking shit end of the stick. Like I'm not rich in any aspect. Like I may have like the privilege of being like a straight white man, like a straight white cisgender guy, but like I'm not like I'm poor. Like I'm living in housing right now. Stick to things people can agree on. 100%. Like there's always controversial topics that are just going to be out there, like in general. Like, but like I find a lot of things nowadays are controversial in general. Like there's some people that just they can't talk about anything without it being like it's got to be one side or the other. There's some things where it's like I can understand both sides of an aspect, but then there's other things where it's like, how can you? Yeah, like who doesn't want good healthcare and education? Like that shouldn't be something that's controversial anywhere, right? But like there's some things that people just can't get behind regardless. Like especially when you start getting into like social programs and stuff like that, some people are very anti stuff. Like when I sit there and like people just don't want their hard-earned money going towards feeding other people's kids, and I'm like who cares if they're other people's kids, man? Like your tax dollars are going towards like ridiculous things regardless, so like why not help somebody out? Like 100% I think people should be able to like feed their own kids. Like that's 100% on them, but some people are just put into those situations and sometimes bad things just happen. Like some people just can't like pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Like some people are just in those situations where they can't fix it. It's the same thing with when I look at like old age benefits and like disabled benefits and stuff like that. Those things are so underfunded. Like they're not in any way close to what they need to fucking be to like sustain anything. Like you sit there and fucking pay into your old age pension for fucking like 30, 40 fucking years. Not dual cast, I need fucking double dose. Like, you know, I don't know why I said 30, 40 years, like fucking 40, 50 years. And then you're getting like fucking anywhere between like $600 to $800 every 2 weeks. Yeah, not everyone has boots to pull up. Exactly. Like, just give me a second. I gotta get rid of this fucking bot over here on Twitch. Best viewers go to this site. Yeah, nobody that's gonna pay for viewers is a fucking good streamer. I don't care if you've got hundreds or of thousands of views. If you're buying viewers, they're not real. But yeah, like the circumstances, everything, and like especially where like we were talking before about like the education and like some places just being like too underfunded. Like how do you fix that when your community itself is fucking so underfunded that there's no fucking help that can be had, right? Like that's just something you can't fucking fix, and it's not your fault. But people expect you to be able to come back from that. It's like, what? What do you mean? Like, how can you come back from something that's 100% against your control? And like, don't get me wrong, sometimes people are lucky enough to be able to get some people are lucky enough to be able to get out of that stranglehold. And like, if you can get out of that, like fucking you're like more power to you, right? Like if you can get yourself out of that situation, like you're one in a few, and it does happen. Like it does happen. But like it's ridiculously hard. Especially if you don't have any kind of help. Like a lot of things, and a lot of people don't want to admit. Most times, when you find a job or a good job, or you're able to get out of a situation like that, it's because it's almost like, and I won't put it up at a ridiculous number, but like 60% of the time, even 70% of the time, it's because you fucking know somebody. It's because you know somebody that helped you get that job. Or it's you know somebody that knows somebody else. Like it's a lot of the times it's in who you know. Even if you're like the best worker in existence, you've got a great work ethic, you've never had any kind of like write-ups or anything like that, no reprimands. Sometimes it's still hard for you to fucking find a job unless you know somebody. Like myself, I had what was it, 15 plus years in the food industry with minimum, probably more than 12 years management in the food industry. Not just fast food, but like I was the assistant store manager for a fucking restaurant. And when I moved from where I was at back home and tried to find a job with all of that on my resume, it still took me, I think it was like between 6 to 8 months to find a job with hundreds of resumes out and like 12 plus years of management. And that's not even the worst part. The job I found was in the food industry, and I still knew somebody that worked at one of the stores that I got a job at, and that's how I got the job. Even though I had all of that fucking experience, all of that management training, still took 6 to 8 months with hundreds of resumes out before I got a job. And that was because I fucking knew somebody. Yay, Crystallarium.
Operation Nora?
But like that, yeah. And like, I'm not saying it's like, if you've got a great work ethic, it's usually usually, not always, easy to move up in the ranks, but it's that initial getting the fucking job in the first place. Like, if you can't get that job, then how are you supposed to move up if you can't fucking get the job in the first place, right? I'm just going to take a quick second there. I just need to run to the washroom right quick. I will be back. Okay, let's do more of these. I got lucky getting into your current job. Within 3 years, I'm going to be running the whole branch. That's fucking sweet. Like, I think it's funny, though, is the most experience I have is in the food industry, but, like, I'm currently a plumber now. I work in the trades. I'm just waiting for a call back from work. But, like, even like, some jobs, even no matter how much you work, you just can't get ahead. Like, don't get me wrong, like, food industry, I was, like, higher up management. My last job, I was the store manager, so, like, I ran the place I was at, but they were paying me fucking nothing. I wasn't even making $14 an hour as their store manager. Did the hiring, firing, I did the orders, like, everything. I ran the fucking store. I was there 5 days a week, and then sometimes more than that because I had to go in and check on people. Friggin', and they let me go. They let me go after, like, I think it was like 6 or 7 years running their fucking store. Let me go. Said I didn't want to grow their business enough. I went back to school. Went through the 9 months for plumbing. Immediately I did my work term. Got hired by the guy that I did my work term with. Again, knowing somebody. And then immediately started out making a couple dollars more than I was making running a place. And it's just like, what? And like now I'm working my way up. I'm 1 year, well, not 1 year because I can't go back next year, unfortunately, because I've gone back to school for my upgrades every year for it. So my EI is like really, really low, so I got to build up my hours again. But I'm basically 1 more year away from getting my red seal and being like 100% fully certified in my field. Basically always on the clock. I know how that feels. Yeah, so like, and like I also owe a lot of that to, you know, my current boss right now. Like, he's helped me out through so much, because like there's a lot of companies around, and like anybody in the trades will tell you the same. A lot of the times, your bosses won't let you go, which technically they're not allowed to do because it's part of the apprenticeship agreement. But sometimes they won't let you go back to school because they're too busy and they need you there. But you're 100% allowed to go. But with my boss, he always looks at me every time fucking when blocks start coming around, looks at me, he's like, do you want to go for your blocks? Because he wants me to get my certification too. Because that just means, one, the higher up in my certification, the more he can charge out for me. 2, the more I make. And 3, then, you know, once I get my full certification, I'm able to plumb, like, I'm pretty sure I can do it now. I just need to get, like, the confidence and do it a couple times. Because, like, I've helped build houses, like, the plumbing and stuff from the ground up. I've just never planned it out and done it myself. But, like, once I get my red seal, like, I should be good to go. And that's, like, what he wants. Like, so why, like, it's just going to make him more money in the long run and me more money in the long run. 3 a.m. twice a week. That's like my boss. Like, my boss knows that if there's anything extra, or if we're getting swamped with anything, or like any after hours calls for like service work and stuff, I'm the one person he knows he can always call. Because 1, I'm usually a homebody, and 2, I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs, so I'm always coherent. So, like, I'm always ready to go. So it's one of those things where he's always got that extra person ready to go. And like he also encourages me to do like side work, so do my own work, charge my own prices, etc., etc. What was that?
Need to get something off your chest?
But like, yeah, so like he encourages me to do side work, so then I can charge like my own rates and stuff like that. My wife was so mad because my phone would wake her up too. I can understand that. I'll be sitting at home and we'll be doing some coupley things, and then like I got a specific ringtone and text message for the boss, and it just like comes in as like what is it? It's just like the weirdest sound. It's like the boss, and it'll say that, and she'll hear that, and she'll be like, "What does he want?" I was like, I don't know yet, but I'll check.
That's it. Hallam Pullum.
But like anytime it's that, it's always good money. Plus, like, he's good with overtime, and pay is always good.
We'll stop in.
And usually anything that's like after hours is, I think, time and a half.
We're the sea now, and
Weekends is double
no
time.
one's there but my dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You need to let him know what happened.
Silly doggo. But like it's always good when you get into the industry, when you get into a job that you like. What are you doing? I'm being attacked. He's vicious. So vicious. Look at him. Look at him and his flappy lips. What are you doing? You trying to get in everybody's way? The tiny baby, all 150 pounds of you. What are you saying? What are you going on about? But, as it is 12 o'clock, and I actually just received a text message for potential work, I'm gonna give her a call today. We will be back tomorrow around the same time, about 9 o'clock. So, hopefully we'll see you all there. And have a good rest of your day. Yes, I'll